We good to go, Sarah?
I just need 1 second. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I know we're recording, but I don't know if we're going live. So I think we should just start.
I see the shield with the green check in it, with the check and the shield, but I don't know what that means. I don't know whether, I know
Yeah.
it's, all right. I thought that might mean something, but we'll leave it go. Okay, 2 announcements. One is, as is usually the case, we will start with continuations, move on to revisions, and then start in ascending order of application number, the new applications. In addition, we expect that when an applicant comes on to the website, that they're prepared to show their documents and share their screen to give a proper once over of what it is that they're proposing. Okay, with that, we will start with ARB 21-12, 13 Continental Street, fence.
If you're here to represent the application, if you can please hit the raise hand button when it's your turn. Nobody is raising their hand.
Okay. All right, we'll go back to
No.
it. Somebody raise it.
No, I'm sorry. Somebody else was raising their hand, but it's not for this application.
Okay. All right, then we'll make a stop back later. We will then go to the revision on the docket for tonight, 20-65, 45 West Clinton Avenue. And it's a fence, revision to a fence. Okay. Mr. Lombardi. Okay, Mr. Lombardi, I think you're muted. Yep, there you go.
How's that?
That's better.
Thank you. All right. Joe Lombardi, the owner of 45 West Clinton Avenue.
Mhm.
I was in front of your board on December 28th, 2020, at which point you approved a 19th century style wrought iron hoop fence for the West Clinton side, the Aqueduct side, and the south side of the 45 West Clinton Avenue.
Right.
We then went back, we then went on to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a variance to allow the fence along the aqueduct to be on the lot line within the aqueduct setback, and that variance was granted. I'm back in front of your board to clarify the colors that we would like to use. And I have up on the screen, the yellow represents obviously the West Clinton Avenue, and the red-orange is the aqueduct line and the south end on the Nevis property.
Mhm.
Along West Clinton Avenue, that's the hoop fence that you had approved. Along West Clinton Avenue, we're proposing that the hoop fence have a gold finial and it be painted a maroon red. The color maroon red is based upon the columns of the octagon house, and the finial, the gold finial, is based upon the top of the lamps at the octagon house and the finial on top of the well house. It has this shape, this three-dimensional shape. On the aqueduct and the south end of the property, we're proposing the basic arrow and hoop design, and it would be black. And that's essentially it. This photograph shows both the spiral on top of the well house, and in the background there, the spiral on top of the lamp. Thank you.
Questions, concerns, comments, anybody?
Looks beautiful, Joe, of course.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Agree, beautifully in keeping with this historic home.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the application?
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Thank you, Mr.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you kindly. Much appreciated.
Yep. Okay. We can move on to our first new application, and it's ARB 2121, 117 Main Street, and it's for a sign. Now, before, do we have anybody raising their hand?
Yes.
Okay. Both of the gentlemen that just got on are still muted.
Unmute, okay?
Yep, I can hear you now. Mr. Cullen?
Good evening.
I'm sorry, I think I'm later in the agenda. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Oh.
All right, just mute yourself, that's fine. Okay, before we can go any further, I've been told that the sign, because it's on the second floor or second story, that it's not in keeping with the village code for signs on the second floor. I know that there's an application in front of the zoning board of appeals, but until they make a determination on whether the sign will even be allowed at that location, I don't know if you want us to hear this case. I have a feeling if you do want us to hear the case, it's probably going to be turned down.
We understand that. We're just hoping to try to, if you looked at some of the renderings, if you had some opinions that we can, or some guidance that we can use going forward, so we can come back successful the next time if we do get approved at ZBA.
Okay. You're still gonna have to come before us, but we can, if you'd like, we can have a conversation, but I don't know if anybody is prepared to speak of the issue at this point. Anybody?
I actually just had a question, Rick, because I'm not familiar with the ZBA appeal. So is this presently a residence or a business or both?
It's mixed use.
I'm having a hard time, especially because there's no visual, there's just audio. So if you could speak a little louder.
It's in a mixed use. It's in the business district.
But I mean, so the building itself is going to have a office as well as it's going to be a residence? Is that correct?
It is, yes.
I think the business is on the lower level and the residents are on the second and third levels, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then what are you before the ZBA for?
Because the sign needs to be at the lower level, which I feel is it's a little bit too low to the ground, and maybe closer to the garden where we do some plantings and things like that. We would like to raise it up a little bit higher, and we're going above the height limitation.
Right.
Restriction.
And that's pretty much why I said that we probably shouldn't hear the case until, I mean, it's not a complicated case where it's going to take us a couple of meetings to come to a conclusion. However, I think we should know where that sign is going before we even discuss it. My opinion is the size of the sign is very large for that second story. I think any sign in that area probably should be in the garden or below, below the second story. But
I think the calculations came out that we could have a much larger sign as of right in the garden, and we just don't want it that big, and we don't want it really in the garden, but we'll do what we have to do to make everybody happy, of course.
okay,
That's why we're having this discussion.
okay. If anybody has any other,
Yeah, and just another question, Rick, just to be clear. So what's before the ZBA is just a variance as to whether it can be on the second floor, not the size of the sign, not the lettering of the sign, the color of the sign, just if it can be on the second floor or not, regardless of the size and the appearance. Is that correct?
that's my understanding. Mr.
That's
Ifkasik,
correct.
that's correct? Okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because it is interesting. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Rick. I think this should not be before us tonight. It's impossible to give guidance. I will say very strongly that if the ZBA approves a sign on the second floor, I will be sorely disappointed because it is not in keeping with my reading of the sign law for a business establishment. And presently, as the sign is depicted, I would still say if it was allowed on the second floor, it is too big, too glaring, and not appropriate for the historic district.
And basically, I'm going to interfere here. Basically, that's why we came in front of you, because we are not stuck on the size or whatever. We wanted your opinion on what's going to appease you and what's going to appease us. So the size and all of that, we are not determined on that's what we're going to do. We want to do whatever you tell us. This is what's going to look good, then we'll do it. As long as you don't ask us to do like a burgundy color. It has nothing to do with the company or whatever. So that's basically, we just want to know what your opinion is on what can we do, because even the structure itself, that's really not the second floor. That's like the first floor, but because it's a basement, so we'll go with the second floor. So that's bottom line is we came to ask you what you guys like us to do there.
Okay. Anybody else have comments or do you agree with Deb as far as the sign?
I think the Historical Society would be a good reference point. It's a few doors away. It's a similar style building. They use all three levels. So, I mean, I would hate to see a sign that size in front of a residential window. But, in total, I also agree. It's too large and too glaring. So I just think it would sort of, ruin that level of the premise. So it should be something totally different.
Yeah, we were, looking at turning it on an angle perpendicular to Main Street or the house, so it wouldn't stand broad or parallel to be looking. If you're looking straight on from Main Street, you actually wouldn't see the sign really. It would just be on the angle coming down or up. If you see one of those renderings, I think that we had it submitted.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I'm not going to speak one way or the other, but I know that there has been no signage in that spot, at the Historical Society. If anything, they will put something on the railing at times. So I don't know, something like that smaller and on the railing might be appropriate, but I'm not.
That might be the right way. I'm not disagreeing with you. I like that idea, and I thought of that originally. I like the railing detail, and I like the way how the columns and the kind of like cornices that are on that front porch, and I dropped it lower in that space so it wouldn't take away from the character of the building. I mean, I like those features, and I'm trying to keep them. So I was trying to make the sign go kind of float there and not interfere.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, if it's all right with you, Mr. Ivkasik, we can continue this matter till next month or till after you get your determination from the ZBA.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay,
You're
very good.
very helpful.
Thank you. You all have a great night.
Thank you, you too. All right. And now to another sign, ARB 21-22, 48 Main Street, Farm Eats Barbecue. Mr. Cullen, are you in for this one?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, hang on. Start video. All right.
There we are.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, hi. Yeah, so this is really a very straightforward matter. The location, formerly Revenge Barbecue, there's some cut white lettering on the window. We're simply putting up new cut white lettering reflecting the new name of the establishment. So I'm gonna have to share my screen here. Bear with me a moment.
Mhm. Just for the record, we approved the last signs on the two front windows and the side window
Yeah.
for Revenge. Yeah, those signs we approved.
Yeah, so it's basically, identical size and, footprint. We're just putting this in its place. Cut white lettering, farm eats, grass-fed and pasture-raised barbecue with the icon of a cow and the circle around it. And, we tried to simulate the look of the glass with basically the same size cut lettering.
You'll see right through it though, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's just an effect. It's
Okay.
not going to take up the whole window. It's just the cut white vinyl portion.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Looks great.
Yeah, I agree. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're good to go.
Good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
And welcome, Ken. I didn't get a chance to welcome you when you jumped on. Okay,
Good to see you all.
same here. ARB 21-23, 15 Beckett Close, window.
Hi there.
I,
Okay, so we have a fairly straightforward matter as well. I am helping my client, Scott Drath, with a kitchen renovation, and we are planning to add one window. So as you can see here in the exterior facade, this is the side elevation of their home.
we're not seeing your, I'm not seeing your screen. Is anybody else?
Nope.
Okay,
Click the share screen there.
wait, how do I?
On the bottom of the screen, it should say in green, share screen.
Wait. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
We can now.
Okay, so as I started to mention, this is the side exterior elevation of their home. Currently, this is, there are two windows. We would like to add a third window. So it's just a matter of adding this one window here. It's going to be the same type as they currently have. It's an Anderson window. It's not visible from the street. So again, it's just on the side elevation of the home.
Okay. Questions? Anybody?
Can you show the photograph?
Okay, so here is, you can see a photo of the existing. So we have this pair of windows. Same elevation. So by adding the third window, we feel that it's going to improve the aesthetic of the home. It would essentially be aligning with this window above. It's the second story window above.
Okay. Thank
Anybody
you.
else? Anybody else? Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, we're good to go.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Give her a chance to get out of town. You're welcome, Mr. Drath. Okay. All right, we will now move on to ARB 21-24, 26 Barney Park, windows.
Good evening, everyone.
How are we doing?
Good. So I'm Ron Hoyner representing the Mateus and Julie Braun, the new owners of the property. We are planning a renovation to the house that has three components really to the exterior. It's replacement of the roof, replacement of windows, and replacement of a portico that's in sort of in disrepair. The exterior of the house, we're keeping as much of the house as we can in every instance, but we're keeping all the exterior siding, repainting same color. We're keeping all of the shutters, repainting same color, replacing the roof with a very similar, and it's in the spec is in here, but a very similar roof, replacing all the windows with an Anderson 400 series simulated divided light window, double hung, all of them in the same openings, except in the back, we're actually adding 2 additional openings at the master bedroom. So I can take you around to the back of the house for a second. So we are adding a couple of windows up here so that these align. These are existing in the kitchen, and we're moving and matching these existing openings so that the rear facade is uniform without any sort of jumbled windows. On the front of the building, we're also looking, let me just go to the photo. The existing door, which we're maintaining, has this great curved glass glazed opening that follows the door and follows the sort of the face of the building. And we'd like to replace this portico, which if you look at it, it's disproportionately thin at the top, and it's very heavy at the double columns, and it's actually taking water, and the columns are rotted at the base. So we'd like to replace this with a simple curved piece to match the curve of the front of the house, and clad the top in an ATES metal panel to match, sort of a standing seam roof to match the color of these. It's a really deep green awning, and the front door would actually be existing to remain, and we'd paint that out as well. The other little changes right now, I don't have a photo that shows it, but the hood from the existing kitchen exhaust goes out the side of the building here. It's a large hood that's like 9 feet off the ground. We're eliminating that, patching and repairing and closing that opening. And I'd like to put a small exhaust right here behind this front planting. It'll be 18 inches off the ground and insect and rodent proof, but it's a downdraft hood on the other side. So we'd like to keep it to the front of the house if possible. And that is what we are doing.
What's the size of the vent?
It'll be a 6-inch vent. It's a really small, it's a downdraft hood on a normal induction cooktop. So it'll be a 6-inch vent with maybe it's an 8-inch shielded hood underneath, and we'll paint it out to match the face of the building. So it'll be white.
Okay.
There's no changes on the porch on the back of the house?
No. Well, let me clarify. We're repairing anything that's damaged to the back of the house and putting it back in kind. Okay. So you'll see that some of these columns have taken water. Some of these fascia boards need to be replaced because they've taken water. We're just going to pull it apart and put it back together the same way we found it.
Okay.
Is there any reason you're not putting the shutters on the main house rear face in the upper levels?
So the shutters that we have today across the front exist, and there are some in the basement that were original that will sort of match these. We're not sure of the condition of all of them and what the process for putting it all back together would be, but we would look into that. And Mateus is here in this meeting as well and can chime in, but we would look to repair the ones that were original to the house and put them back.
My next question is the entablature that holds up the current pediment
Yeah.
roof. Is so that's all staying?
This piece,
No, the pieces on the columns that are coming out.
I would take this all away. It's water damaged.
No. I understand you're repairing it, but is the height that where does the arch leap off of?
So our new arch would spring from this piece, 8 inches above this current the current opening of the building, and these I would eliminate. This is 4 columns, 2 and 2, and they feel very heavy when you're standing on the porch. I would like to take one away, have 1 column that picks up the top, the perpendicular entablature to the building, and then let that pick up my spring that matches that curve.
Do you have a detail of that?
I don't, so I wasn't sure whether or not you guys would be amenable to this. I can detail the entire thing and send it to you for your review. I would like to get, if that's the case, if you guys do want to see more about what this would look like.
Look, I'll just say I like this. It has a certain, all right, I want to say grandeur and specificity to it. But I would like to hear what others think.
Can you scroll down so we can see what's proposed?
And you mean this meaning the overhang for the pillar or the supports?
It's hard to, I have to tell you, it's hard to see, you know.
Because
without
it's
a
not, yeah, I
three-dimensional
agree. It's
representation
not
of it.
detailed, and you're missing, there's an interior line that didn't print on the PDF that picks up the
Yeah,
inside.
I'm sure that, you know, right, you have the roof and then you have the trim coming over.
Right.
And it's hard for us to sort of, or it's hard for me to look at it without seeing it 3-dimensionally, the way you can see it out in the field, especially with the you know, singular column. Might be
Yeah.
fine, but it's hard to tell just looking at an elevation.
I can absolutely do a perspective of it. I can give you plan and section and elevation of it.
Mhm.
What I would ask
I think
is,
can I say this? I think for
Sure.
this group, a 3-dimensional view of it would be very helpful.
not a
I'll
problem.
look at the details. I mean, I certainly will dig into the details, whatever, but I think for the others to understand it, it's best to see it 3D, especially as we have the existing. I'm not saying it's wrong, or it's just hard to
I
make a
get it.
judgment. Yeah.
Can I ask, would you guys be willing to allow us to move forward with the rest of this exterior and separate this piece so that I
Sure.
can come back
I
for
would be.
this?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, I appreciate
I-
that.
I will are you rebuilding the dormers or are you just replacing the windows?
Just replacing the windows.
Okay. I like it that you did the 2/2, which you have in the whole house. I think that I appreciate, I always like 2/1, but I think in this house, it's fine.
It
to
just
do
looks
2/2.
right for this house, I think,
Yeah.
too. I agree.
And you're
Thanks, Ken, for
leaving the
bringing
wide
that up.
clapboard, right? That's what you said? You're
We're
gonna
leaving
leave
it just
wide
like, we're
clapboard?
gonna repaint it, but we are leaving it. It's original.
And is there a little window there on the additions? to-
Yeah, yes. There's a small window here in the stair that goes, the back stair that goes from the kitchen up.
I see.
I could show you. It's that guy.
Yeah.
I think that's a great proposal. It's a beautiful house and everything you're doing looks like it's perfectly in keeping with both the neighborhood and true to the origin of the house. But I agree with Ken. It's hard to
Yeah.
understand what the design element is for the front door. And then when my eye goes up to look at the dormer, you are changing something fairly substantial that we probably should see.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, well,
it's
we'll
kind of clean
absolutely
the way
give
it
you a
is. I
rendering of
agree.
this.
Hi, this is Matthias. I'm the owner. Thank you very much for your consideration. One question I had is, and because we're still sort of a little bit unsure about this portico, and one other idea we had is, what about if we left and restored the existing portico roof, but found a slightly different solution for the columns, perhaps instead of having 2, just having 1. To take a little bit of the heft away from them.
You know, if you did a plaster on the face of the house, that might be lighter. I understand what you're saying. I think, again, you'd have to show it to us, come back. But we could approve everything but that and leave it the way it
Okay.
is.
And if you'd like, you can propose two different,
Yeah,
porticos.
I can easily bring back two solutions like that to you guys and go through it with ownership first, obviously. Yeah,
Any other
I have
questions?
a question. Are you replacing the gutters?
we are.
So what are they now? They're semicircles, right? Is that it? They're all round?
Well, they're a mix. Some are not round. They were put on at different times, and we're going to replace them. We're going to be consistent throughout the whole thing with half round.
Half round, okay.
Yeah.
But do make a note of that, because I think that's.
Sure, I'll note that on the plan.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Matthias. Something looks wrong about the columns. They are very weighty compared.
And when you stand there, it's even worse. It's
Yeah.
actually very, very dense in that
No, I
area.
know the house, and I knew Mr. Herson. Yeah.
I'm gonna say one other thing, and we're not, it's not our purview, but I think you could really cut back on the landscaping, cut it down so you get the light in, and the bush on the right is just somebody letting, that's unbelievable.
These are just, unpruned and they become stalks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been there a long time, and we'll be looking to change that in future. But that's after the renovation.
It's a great house in a great neighborhood, so best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else with questions, concerns?
No.
No, okay.
Did you say what windows they are, Ron?
Anderson, they're Anderson 400 series semi-leaded divided lights.
Yep. Great.
Okay, I will make a motion to make a conditional approval, removing the portico out of the overall package. And the fact that the gutters will all be consistently half round. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're good to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
And
Thanks.
have a good night.
Okay. Moving right along. ARB 21-25, 32 Osceola Avenue, windows.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, thank you. So my family moved in to 32 Osceola about 2 years ago. The previous owners kept the house in good shape, and we love being here. We realized, though, that the garage was not a safe place to be. So what we have decided to do is to reestablish sort of the loft area that they had in the garage. It was a second floor, but there wasn't ample headroom. The stairs going up were very rickety. And so what we've decided to do is kind of give us more headroom upstairs and also fortify the flooring. But it did require us bringing down the second level, maybe 6 inches or so. That has an effect where the back 2 windows of the garage, which really don't face anybody, that those need to sort of also adjust, just so that we don't have them straddling that joist. So what we want to do is just get the approval on the new windows. It's a fairly minor change. We'll, of course, trim them and paint them to be matching with the rest of the house. It's very important for us to be consistent, but that was sort of the proposal that we have in front of you.
Okay, do you have the ability to show us what you're talking about?
My architect, I guess, didn't prepare me, so I have no materials. I thought we submitted something for you guys to look at, but I don't have a fancy screen share, unfortunately.
Okay. Does anybody feel the need to see it?
I did look at it beforehand.
And
We good? Anybody have any concerns, questions? I looked at it and I didn't have any.
No, I didn't know.
Nope. I haven't looked at it, but I'll trust you.
Okay. Really
Thank
stepping
you.
out on a limb, this one.
It's not that major.
No,
Like I
it's
said, I
fine.
trust you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the application. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay,
I am having computer trouble.
they're challenges, they're not trouble.
Challenges.
Well, Ken's working out his challenges. We'll call the next item, the next
And my computer.
application. You good to go?
No, I'm gonna go to another device.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We will go to new matter 21-26, 17 Dogwood Lane, windows.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yep.
Hi, my name is Bill Witt. I'm the architect for the project at 17 Dogwood Lane. And what we're doing basically is an interior renovation of the kitchen, dining room, and family room. And part of that is replacing some existing windows and doors at the rear of the house. Happy to share a screen with you and show you if you'd like to see that.
We're not there yet. Here we go.
So here's on the floor plan, you can see the windows that are being replaced in the rear of the house. Rear elevation, this is an existing deck. We're replacing a pair of 4 windows with a gang of 4 doors leading out to the deck, replacing the windows in the kitchen and the dining room as well. We'll be matching the same materials on the house, Anderson windows. There's a vinyl siding, vinyl shake on the house, and a vinyl trim, which we'll be patching in the new openings. No changes to the footprint or the existing deck.
Okay. Can you scroll down for a sec?
Oh, certainly. The side elevation is unaffected. There's no new windows.
Okay. All right.
You can see in the photograph here, this is just the area where we're doing our work.
Mhm. Okay. Anyone questions?
No.
You might have caught a break. Ken is not here. Okay. All right, I don't have any issues. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're good to go, Mr. Witt.
Thank you very much.
Luck.
Thank you.
All right. All right, the next application is ARB, and I definitely want Ken for this one. ARB 21-27, 7 Strawberry Lane, Montgomery, and it's exterior elevation changes.
Mute you. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Thank you. I'll apologize up front. It is the first time I've ever done a Zoom meeting. So if I go astray, please, I apologize up front.
Mhm.
I will try and share this screen with you. I believe that this is what I'm looking for. No, that didn't help me.
If you put your cursor on the screen, you'll see on the bottom it says share screen.
Oh, my apologies. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Not yet. Yep, here it comes.
So what we're proposing here is we're really just changing the existing, the decking material itself per se. So this is 7 Strawberry Lane. This is the configuration of the existing deck. Set of stairs going down to a platform to another set of stairs that lead out to the driveway. And this is another set of stairs that just leads out into the yard itself. We are not changing any of the structure itself at all. We are only changing the decking material. The existing decking, which I will scroll down to the bottom. Bear with me 1 second. So the original deck was a pressure treated 2x6 decking with a typical contractor's rail. The house was put up back in the late 90s, I believe. The decking is in disrepair. It's the homeowners are fearful that their grandchildren might catch a splinter or something along those lines. So we are just, once again, we're going to change this existing pressure treated deck to an Ipe deck. We'll be changing the lattice panels, and I have that on another screenshot, if you will. And we'll also be doing this same, it's basically this same exact setup. This is a mahogany, but we'll be using an Ipe instead of pressure treated deck, and we'll be using this very similar Feeney cable rail system, which is set at 3 5/8 standard between each stainless steel cable to fall within village code.
Okay. All right.
Very simple, nothing crazy. The yard is completely fenced in. The only one who might have a view of it is the gentleman to the south, which is Mr. Kaplan, but he'd have to probably get up on a ladder to see over the top of the hedgerow in order to be able to see the deck.
Okay. Could you go back up to the drawings?
Absolutely.
One thing that I was a little, you can go down one if you would.
Sure. Let's see, second floor.
Yeah. No, keep going. I'm sorry. Yeah, right there. What I don't see is the this short staircase. I know it's I just don't see the short staircase coming down the right side of that patio.
It is concealed, so if I go back up to this floor plan, you can actually see that it is built into the side of the deck here.
Okay.
Going up the stairs.
Okay.
This is going up. You see my cursor is going up the stairs. It's actually built into the deck. It is all pre-existing, and we're not changing any of it.
Okay.
The actual stair tread itself.
Okay. Could you please go back down again?
Absolutely.
Something else that I saw didn't make sense. Okay, so you said the lattice is good, is going to be very similar to
The
what you-
lattice will be, it'll all be completely replaced, and that'll all be a mahogany lattice.
Okay. Okay. Ken, anything? Ken, you back? You're muted.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nope, no problem.
Okay. Didn't see
Yeah,
that.
sorry, is it all painted white? Is that, or what's the painting?
I apologize. If you go down to, if I take you back down to this picture, it's going to be, the Ipe will be exposed. We're not painting that Ipe. It'll have an.
No. Yeah, Ipe handrail. Okay, because it certainly looks different than the drawings. I'm just going to go back. If you can go back to the drawings just for a second. That's why I asked. The drawings are showing vertical posts.
Yes.
Well, this was the original. This is the original.
Oh, existing.
This is existing, correct.
It says proposed.
Yeah, that was my confusion is I don't know what Rick is actually signing off on because this says proposed.
Right. So I did the original kitchen renovation with John Malone, and Walter Montgomery and Marion Gruber, who were the owners of this property, asked me to come in and replace the decking before, this spring, summer season. So they weren't concerned about their children, once again, getting splinters by all this old pressure treated. So I'm utilizing John Malone's original drawings here in order to just give you guys a preview of what we're trying to do. Once again, we're not changing any structure. We're just changing the decking and the railings as well as the lattice panels. but we're not changing any structure whatsoever.
I think we
Really a
understand.
cosmetic application.
Yeah, no, we're following you. The problem is that the drawings have to be signed off. And what I'm trying to find is where, other than the catalog example of what you've given us, where exactly does it show what you're installing? The actual plans.
Once again, I apologize. I've never done this before. I'm not an architect. I'm just a general contractor. I wasn't aware, or do I have knowledge of ever doing this? So I'm only doing a cosmetic application here. I didn't foresee this as being an issue of trying to develop a whole set of architectural drawings to change some decking and a railing and some lattice panel. So if I've offended anybody, I apologize, but I just wasn't aware that all of that would be necessary to make these cosmetic changes.
This actual drawing that you're sitting on right now, that's what really had me confused. Is it looks like you have doors going to nowhere. If you look at the center of that.
I agree with you. I actually have another file where it shows you that those doors are no longer there. I apologize. I can flip over to that if you'd like, but you'll have to bear with me. Once again, I just need to bring it up on screen.
So I just, do you have the ability to mark these up? How do we do this, Rick?
Well,
'Cause
they're so far off. There's nothing I can. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't have the ability anymore to mark up drawings.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I apologize to you as an applicant. I know you're a general contractor, but frankly, the building department, before it comes to us, I would have thought they would have told you, these are 2016 drawings. So for this to be submitted to us with drawings that are this old and they're not marked up by hand, you didn't need to do new drawings, but they have to at least be edited by hand to reflect the proposed change. We can't have you, in my opinion, just attach the literature to the drawings. I don't know how Rick can sign off on this. Unless you go through it line by line, Rick, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to do that anymore because we're A, remote, and B, I don't have physical drawings and plans anymore. I make notes on tomorrow morning. I'll make notes and send them off to the building department. But I think there's just and this is killing me because I love Walter Montgomery, but I just can't in good conscience sign off on plans that are incorrect.
They're also it's also that they're dated 2016.
So am I required to go back and get a set of architectural drawings to replace the decking and the rail then?
At the very least.
I just don't know. So
at the very least, drawings that we can look at and say, okay, that's what you're, wanting to do and recognize what it is you're doing. These don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
apologize. Go ahead.
As you say, just to save you some work and time, we've had other applicants submit handwritten drawings. They don't have to be architectural drawings, certainly not in the case of a deck, but it can't be a prior existing drawing with literature attached to it. That's not clear enough. So I would suggest you take the old drawings and try to do something by hand if you can.
Are you good at PDF modifications? Because I think you could do it another way.
I'd be honest with you. I can build you anything you want. You put it on a piece of paper and I'll build it for you. But when computer
I'm talking about
to be quite frank
somebody
with you,
that's good at
I'm somewhat of a
PDFs.
computer illiterate. So from that perspective, no, I just didn't. Once again, I wasn't trying to change.
Nobody's blaming you.
Just trying to make a safe application for the client.
Yeah.
I do have another file here that I thought I was going into, but I guess not. I've apparently opened up somebody's calendar. That's not. Once again, I apologize. So, and I don't even know how to get back to where I need to be. So, I will go back and ask Ed Marin for his assistance if he can. We thought this would be adequate to get you to the information that you were looking for. I'm not. Once again, but they were just cosmetic changes. We weren't, once again, not trying to change any structure.
We get you. Okay, let's give it a shot next month. Yeah, I think the building department can give you some assistance as to what it is, we expect and what it is frankly we need to be able to make a proven application.
Okay, I thank
I
you.
think
for your
Deb's
time and your
correct, though.
efforts.
It could be a hand rendering.
Okay, so just to recap here, so you're just looking for what type of material is being applied to the deck, and a picture of the railing as well as the lattice panels themselves. Is that my understanding? I
Yeah.
can draw it.
That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, the design, the color, and the material.
Okay, all the product would be natural material. We're trying to keep that natural beauty involved. We're not trying.
You just need to draw it and label it as Ipe with clear finish or something like that. That's all you have to do.
Okay, I will get it done for you guys. I thank you for your time, your efforts, and you have a nice day and a good evening.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, we will have a board member recuse himself on this next one. 3 Beechwood Road, ARB 2128, exterior elevation change. The name is Serrata. I guess
Which Serrata?
this one right here.
Go easy.
Boy, do I got a bunch of
And go hard.
All right. You can share your
Hi.
screen. Somebody can share
Hi.
this.
Yes, good evening. Stephen Bassini. Can you hear me all right?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm the architect for Randy and Michael. Hello, good evening. So I'll start my screen off right here. Okay, so the proposal is for an exterior renovation to the home. It's an alteration, modification, and there's some additions in the back, a rebuild of a deck, a new patio, and a modification to the front porch here, rebuilding it across the face, and basically an overhaul of the appearance and the color schemes of the house. So what you see right here, if you can see the screen, is the existing front south elevation. Here's another shot, a little more close up. Just to talk about this in pieces to make it easier for you. The front of the house, the proposal is to rebuild this porch with a shed roof across the face of it to tie in these little bay windows that have these sort of hip standing seam roofs with no fascia or soffits, and this sort of low slope pediment roof, and just tie this into with one front porch. And also to raise up the grade adjacent to the front porch to bring the front of the house closer to the ground and have just one step up. So the proposal for the front porch would be this. The roofs over these bay windows would be incorporated into the ceiling underneath the porch. We would have white columns along the face with a white entablature, fascia soffit, and either black, or I think it might be a little bit lighter shade of like charcoal, dark gray standing seam roofing over it. And the appearance of the house, since we're here, we'll talk about it. Right now, you saw in that elevation, it's gray. It's got these brown beige roof shingles. It has these interesting sort of eyebrow dormers here that don't really lend too much as far as appearance or even light, really, because it's in the attic. But the proposal is to remove these and then just change the color scheme to what you see here, which is outlined. Which is outlined in the on each of these drawings as far as what all the materials are. But we're basically going with a gray, black, white color scheme. So the roofing shingles would be a pewter gray GAF shingle. These garage doors here, which would be the like a wood grained door in a gray, and as well as the front door would be the same material as side lights. So you have gray here, you have white siding. The windows would all remain the same. However, all the trim would be new and would be white, the corner trim, and the chimney itself, which is now red brick, would be, you can see it here, over there, is now going to be whitewashed to bring it in match with the color of the rest of the house. So the porch itself would be, like I said, on grade. There would be no railing going around the front, and I think this ties together more the front of the house. And the shutters would also be black as opposed to white that they are now. Again, everything in that scheme. And the idea of the porch, and I explained it to the planning board, really is to in these times in the last year, at least with seeing your neighbors a lot more than ever and wanting to see the children getting on and off the bus and things, they want to be able to have a place outside in the front of the house to sit. And right now they have that small little porch and it steps down and slopes away. So they've created a little bit of a plateau there with a porch that they can sit out on and enjoy the neighborhood.
Both roofs are new?
So sorry, what was that?
Both roofs are new?
New shingles, yes. All the roofing is being replaced.
Right.
Are you gonna redo the gutters as well?
The gutters are going to be redone as well, yes. K-style gutters and leaders, white aluminum.
K-style, okay.
The typical standard gutters, yeah.
Can I recommend, I mean, it's a really nice job. It's really great to see this. It's a big improvement. Losing those, whatever they are, dormers is like the biggest lift. I'm just curious, how deep is the porch? I didn't see a plan.
Oh, sorry. It's about 5.5, 6 feet deep. It's like matching the existing right now. We had to get a variance for that, but sorry, 1 second. It's there.
Oh, so you just followed the existing, because I
Yeah.
have a front porch and it's really big enough that you can sit on it. So make sure it's wide enough. But
No, it's
you
wide.
know,
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's actually wide enough. What happened is we needed a variance because here at this corner
Yep.
where it exists, it actually, the property line, you can see in the site plan.
Yep.
I lost it now.
Curves
The
on the street,
Site plan
right,
curves,
yep.
yeah. Sure. So we had to get a variance in order to extend it, but yeah, it's plenty big. I mean, in front of the bay windows, it'll be a little tighter, but there's enough room on there to be able to get seats.
Great. And
You asked about the gutters though. I'm sorry, what were you,
I was going to urge you to do semicircular gutters just to keep, but then I'll leave it to you. It's not.
the only thing I would,
It is
I like,
a bit of a nicer look, though. You're right, Ken.
I like
Yep.
that when it's more pronounced and you're doing a copper or you're doing a bronze or brown, but I feel like in the white,
Exactly.
it doesn't really lend it to the profile. You can't see the profile too much because it blends with the fascia. I guess that's why.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I understand.
But
I respect that. I'll leave that to you.
okay, thanks.
Did you say there was work on the back of the house too?
Yes, let's jump to that. Thank you. So on the back of the house, you can see it existing. There is a pressure treated wood frame deck and steps down to grade at about 10 steps down. There's a little garden here and AC units on the back. The proposal, just before I come off of this page, is on the exterior elevation. The one modification to the wall itself is these windows would come out and there's a single door here. These would be replaced with a double door Frenchwood sliding Anderson doors to match the appearance and the fenestration of the other ones. And the porch itself then would be constructed, sorry, I lost you again. In the plan, I'll go back to that, but the porch itself would be constructed a little differently to create several seating areas, main seating area here, and then a little loft seat here for some benching and smaller seating. This would then step down to a raised patio, and therefore you're not coming down 10 steps. It's a little safer. You're coming down only about 6 steps down to a patio here, which then, because of the grade, you could step down 3 steps here, and then off of here would really be to grade because this all slopes from this level here down to the backyard. So the proposal is to tier this down. So this deck, going back to the elevation, is at the same height as the existing one. It's just a flush with the front. And it's not really coming out much further at all than the other ones. So the height and the way, in relation to the ground is no different. This is really the new portion here is the patio. It's going to be framed up to a bench height in this area with a Connecticut fieldstone or something similar in that gray pewter sort of tones to an area here that they can put a fire pit on the inside. Going back to the plan, this area right here. This is a bench. So the wall would come up to a seating bench here with either a quartz or a gray, like a concrete stone top on that, with a fire pit here. And this would be a smaller seating area again over here with a retaining wall and a half retaining wall and then a half white rail. And you can see that in the elevation as well, which is right here. So this would come up to the same height as the bench and then extend up in order to meet the requirements for safety as far as 30 inches above grade in this area. So this little seating area for the fire pit, and then beyond that, you'll see there's a little outdoor kitchen barbecue area. And these here would be true sort of landscape boulders, steps that we'll find and place there for a natural look. And then the deck itself is here. Now, the deck itself is going to be TimberTech. It's going to be an English walnut color decking with a white fascia. The rail itself will have a drink cap on the top in the same English walnut with a white rail below it, white posts, white bottom rail, and then they're doing a cable rail system horizontal between those posts. Underneath here is an option to the normal lattice look. It's a nicer cedar plank system, which I prepared a little bit of a material sheet just so you could see what we're talking about, but this would be what we propose for underneath the deck. It's a paneled horizontal cedar, red cedar panel that you place up and you put the dividing wood seams here where the joints are. It's just a little bit more of a contemporary, nicer look, I think, than the diagonal trellis.
And you relocated the, I saw the air conditioners to the heat pumps to the side. Yep.
That's correct. So yeah, where they were here and would have been too loud for the barbecue fire, kitchen area, we moved them around to the side of the house, screened them with landscaping. And then of course the fence, which you can talk about, is in front of that as well. So they're well hidden and they're also removed from just the entertainment area.
I just wanted to ask one question where you have
Sure.
on the patio,
Yes.
you said there were benches, but then it looked like there were plantings on that patio. Is there some kind of a planter incorporated in there?
No, that's
You
beyond
went to
that.
the other view,
Yeah,
you
I'll
show
show you.
planting.
I'll show you that in a second. Actually, in this area where I'm
Okay.
highlighting, that's where I was. Those are the bushes that
So
you
we were
see.
just seeing the tops of them from there. Oh,
You-
okay. All
You
right.
were. That back there is sort of what I'm showing against the house.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to show what the foundation plantings would be or could be.
Okay.
And again, at the back of the house, all the same color tones are coming through again. We're just not doing the black shutters, but everything else is the same. You'll see the whitewashed brick here, the pewter gray shingles, and the true white Benjamin Moore and the white trim on the back.
I'm just gonna ask you, and not that we'd ever reject it, but why didn't you make those windows bigger? They're the tiniest windows I've ever seen. Above on the second floor, are those in bathrooms or small secret rooms? I'm just thinking.
I can't let the secrets go, but I think they were sufficient.
The
they
next
were-
window that we're putting in, so.
That's the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's another window we're putting in, so it makes up for the
Yep.
square footage. So just quickly on the side elevation, which is not much impacted except for, of course, the porch that you see here, of course, and the deck in the back, is we're taking, there's no window right near here. Now, the living room is a little dark. It does have the bay window on the front, but of course, we're putting a shed roof porch over it and it'll mess with the light. So they really would like to be able to get some light in there and also a view out that yard. So we're putting a large picture window in there. It's about 8 feet wide, 4 feet high. And it's on the side of the yard. It's not facing the street and actually will be on the other side of the fence, but it's going to provide a much needed light in that room and a beautiful view for them. There is a lot of yard space on that area. The other house is sort of down the hill. And that is the west elevation.
It's
Yeah.
kind of an outlier, that window. I mean, every other time it's a paired window or a joined window. Can you show the street view?
Sure. I'm going to share that, jump out of this.
I mean,
jump into
there,
that.
sorry to say, I'd never say you shouldn't add additional light, but it's such a strange window.
It's tough to see the street view because it really is not visible. But what I think I can do is maybe go out to here on Osceola, and there it is. Do you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, there it is.
Tree in the
So
way.
it's so
But I assume
there-
you're cutting down those hedges to show the lawn,
These hedges are gone already.
they're already gone. So
already
I'm
gone,
gonna
yeah.
say this, it's just, that window is one strange window there. You know, it's not like centered, it's off center, it doesn't align.
It's the height of
I-
it too, I think, something like, yeah, maybe if it was a little higher and
There's actually a
whatever,
clip
something.
on the street that has a similar window.
But I think Ken's right. It just sort of,
You know what? I
Is-
don't see anything wrong. You
Okay.
want to hear my real sort of blunt instrument? My blunt instrument is do a 3-bay window or something like that. You know, it's 3 windows stacked up. It's just so you've really been careful. You've cleaned up the bad stuff, and then it's like bang. I mean, or it's like a huge window, like nothing we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Right now, it's sort of trying to be a window, and it's not a. You know, it's like a
well, it's
slot.
kind of adding a modern
I-
texture to a more traditional
Yeah, that's what I mean, but
it's a
then
very-
it would be a
yeah.
whole strip, like the whole, it would be so out of character that it's fine, right? It's so far gone, but now it's kind of trying to be a window, right? It's the same height as the other windows.
It's a very.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna, I'm not gonna die on my sword over it, just so it just jumps out at me. That's it.
I know that you know, of course, this neighborhood, I'm sure, and it's a very eclectic neighborhood. I mean, even just next door, there's, mean,
I know,
there's a
I know. And
contemporary,
but
there's a
you know,
Tudor across
having
the
a
street.
modern house, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So I thought that one element was, it was something that was very important to them as far as where they live and how they live in that
Sure.
house. And I felt that, you know, as far as the rest of the house is concerned and the neighborhood as a whole, with the eclectic nature of it, that it wasn't too big of an impact. And you're right, it's not centered on the window, it's centered in the room, which is a necessity.
Right,
But
right. Yeah.
What other windows are in the room facing front or?
the only other
Just,
windows in the
one
room
pair.
are the bay window.
Bay window in the front.
This one, oops, right here. Again, lots of foliage here. Sorry. But yeah, that window right there, which.
So even
I mean,
from within, if you have a bay window on the one side to have that one,
No. The neighbor's house is the modern house, right?
Well, that's
That
what I
has
say.
all those windows.
You've got that window, and then you've got a Tudor here with the stucco and the wood. I mean,
right.
and then across the street you have this with the large casement. So I know what you're saying. I
But
just felt it because
that
of
has
the
all
nature.
large casements, you know,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this has a different style window. So
No.
within one room, you're changing it out. So even from the interior.
And I would dare, you know, I would hate to do the, you know, say the Bosco, you know, bay window. I would never say that, right? Another Bosco bay window.
I think you're just adding
yeah,
another
this is,
protrusion to the house. That is
yeah, no,
unnecessary.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Okay.
say that. I'd never say
Oh,
that. I
sorry,
really
God,
wouldn't.
all right.
You know, like a French door or whatever that just looks like a window. I can't.
Well, there's
it's sort of-
furniture in the room. That's the purpose of it being at the height it is. There's a couch in front of it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Hey, can I ask you a question? So,
Yes, please.
I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight over it. It's just such a like outlier. Everything else really great. Totally support. You're doing all the pieces right. I'm not always a big fan of loopy walkways and things like that, but I think it's a great improvement.
Can I ask you a question going back to the view for the window we're discussing? So
Yes,
the
Sarah.
the trampoline, is that the Maxwell's property or is that your property?
That's the Maxwell's property.
So by adding that window as well, not only is it very visible coming down Beechwood because you're going to see it fairly clearly on your left-hand side, but it does now, you are opening up that line of sight that previously was closed off. So I know it gives you a lovely view into the lawn, as you said, but the lawn you're looking into, that's not your property, correct? Your property line stops right where the bushes
So
are?
along this, yeah, there'll be a fence here, which is proposed as well, a 6-foot-high fence. Yes.
It
I mean, it's
also,
the view. It's the view, and it's the light. The light is primary. But yes, sorry.
this is the sunset in the winter too, that sets over the river.
Uh-huh.
Is there a different style window you think might work?
I'm in it's like such, I get it, you know, here's the big picture window with the great view at sunset and everything. I don't know if it needs to be divided or not light divided, certainly not a grid of, well, look, if you did a and I'm going to say something you're going to go, that's the most crazy, but if you did a Hope's window, you know, where it was just a grid, then it would be sort of, okay, it's kind of caught between the two of them. I don't have an easy answer and I'm not going to fight over it. It's just, but I want to let others discuss it.
Mhm. The other point that the window brings up is you have the shutters on the front, then you have the shutters above, and then you have the window you're proposing without the shutters. So that also to me, design wise, if you can go back to what you put on the screen, your proposal. Is another aspect to it that while you can point to the other houses, this again is not in keeping with even the design you have. So
I think maybe a Hope's window with just the grids. I mean, even if you use that size window and put the grills in, you know,
I
maybe
think
a grid
I think
pattern.
I think it's the uninterrupted, like Randy was saying with the sunset, the uninterrupted view of the sunset.
Yeah.
And get the mullions in there, you get the grid, and it becomes something different. And also becomes that. I mean, that type of window becomes an element in itself, as opposed to like a design element, as opposed to just something which is a view and light. But I know what you're saying. I mean,
Considering a picture over the
Can
couch.
you zoom in on the window? Just that Actually, the color one, I like the color one.
Oh. You can see the reflection of the neighbor's house in it, see?
Yes. Well, that would be really something if it was like a mirror glass, that would be creepy, but that's here we go. So the question is, you've done this, and so you're doing that, right? I'm lining that up.
Oh, that's impressive. Yes.
See, that doesn't do anything for, I mean, that, what does it do? It just divides it up, and what's the suggestion is?
For the shutters.
Yeah, okay, so let's lose that. Okay, and then the other one is what we were talking about is, I'm not supposed to do this, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, that doesn't do anything either.
It's great for Halloween.
It's the
tried.
Maybe it was too
Well,
many.
here's your other, here's
Maybe it
what
was
we.
Too many boxes.
That's just plain weird.
I agree.
So, you know, in
I
that
hate to-
way, that's like,
Yeah.
that's
Go
like
ahead.
the old fashioned way, right? Where you do a
Right, you
two
do
side
two
lights.
small windows and a large picture. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to, I mean, the owners are here and
I
I'd
leave it to,
love to hear from them.
I
and-
don't think that has anything to do with the front either, so I don't know.
What about a bay window? Would that be better? No.
A bay window, the only thing is that, yeah, then you're adding another protrusion to the house. We're trying to clean
Right.
up the front by tying in those bays, and now we're putting another one on the
Yeah.
side.
Can we see the back one more time before we
Of course.
just put this to rest, just to see what the other windows look like again?
And if it means anything, also there's a fence that's coming right here that's tying into this that, so it'll sort of be on the other side of the fence, but
And there'll be plantings.
and there'll be
I
plantings
mean,
below it,
maybe
yeah.
plantings, Michael, is the best idea if you kind of,
Are all those?
you did a couple of conicals on either side, it might just give it a sort of blurrier
Are
line.
the taller trees that were in the photographs, are they still there or you took everything out?
They're
no,
gone.
Oh, in the side of the house, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one tree still standing, but that's at the corner.
You could probably soften it with some plantings. Those trees look like.
Can you
they
go,
were
can you
meant to
go
come out.
back to it? Let me just go back to it. It's right now.
The picture or this? The rendering?
Well, this is.
The
Look,
rendering, you
why
mean.
don't you ask yourselves a different question? Is there, if you can go back to it, because you
Yeah,
do have
sure,
a
sorry.
figure. You do have a figure. Which is above, right? Zoom in. Yep. I'm just like wondering if you can't take it any further to the west. Is that, or sorry, to the west, to the left?
To the back, to the left. I mean, it's centered in the house right now. It's centered in the room.
The
Yeah,
room.
Centered in the room.
right.
Okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore because I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere. I'm gonna leave it to the others because it's just such a, I think it's just gotta be broken down in scale. It really is, it's unique. It's a big piece of glass and of the house that has the tiniest windows.
Rich, can you close that container? That's a-
Yeah, look, I think it's an absolutely
on the window.
beautiful design. Everything else I think we're all in favor of, and quick to approve. I don't know what to say about that window.
We don't want that to obviously be the point that breaks it.
Look, are these windows here, right? These windows here are how big? If ganged
Yeah,
up.
4.5. Oh, I'd say they're 30. So it's 5.5 with the
They're 30.
with the mold. Yeah,
No,
so
they're
let's say,
5.5, yeah.
yeah, let's say 5.5 with the mowing.
And sorry, let me just keep going. And the size of the shutters.
Oh, the 16,
So you see where I'm
18 inches.
going?
16, 18.
So-
Yeah, I
Right, so
understand.
you see where I'm going? It's a figure that you find elsewhere in the house, right? That's the figure, which is between the windows and the shutters. So if you go to the other side and you made that was the figure, it's sort of just, it's just not this, it doesn't feel like it's the same size. Maybe I'm misreading it. Can
Well,
you go
if
to
you're
now?
also, I'm going to make a point. It sounds like maybe even your point. If you look right here, that's the volume.
Right.
that we're doing in the same
Right,
exact
and I
room.
would say, right, and I would say then divide it the same way that's divided.
Yeah.
I'm just trying, right?
Yeah, just replicate it.
You know, in the end, here's another way to do it. Okay, so let's get rid of that. You're all clear, and we all want to finish up. So here, if you did this, right? And then you took this figure, right? Added this to it here and this window there. And now you're getting to a size that starts to make a little bit more. It's kind of it's the figure that you're using elsewhere in the house, right? The shutters and the window. It's just a little bit, right? Now it's just not a figure that you see elsewhere. Or just as you did there, is to subdivide, you know, with a light. Just subdivide it in that way. I gotta say, I just can't.
Steve,
It's not worth. This is
not part of the bigger scope of the.
Right.
Leave it off the application.
I was going to suggest that.
as
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And
It's
then-
not. Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry, Michael. Go ahead.
I said we can leave it off the application and kind of re-jazz it up and look at to change maybe some modifications and then, you know, going in. This doesn't affect all the other work that we want.
I agree, and it's yeah, it's not going to hold up anything
Michael-
even if it's approved without it,
Yep.
and we come back after the fact when even during construction or something.
Okay,
You know what? Even if you did this as a set of French doors, right? That whether were large French doors with a Romeo balcony, you know, or just a bar across it, then you open it up and there's a side. It's just some sort of thing that's in the language of the house. That's what I'm seeing.
I think that's a good proposal. Let us approve the rest of the project and then come back when you give this more thought.
Yeah.
I think you'll be happier in the long run because it's a beautiful, beautiful design.
Okay.
One last issue though. Can we see the fence?
Sure. So in the site plan, where color, there it is. No, I had it. Sorry. And there it is. So you're coming, no, actually it doesn't, yeah, it shows it right here. So you're coming off here, wrapping the entire back half of the property. The front, this portion here and the portion going to the back and this portion on the other side going to the back would be a red cedar fence right here, horizontal fence panel. And the one in the back, which because of this is a district along Broadway, the one that runs along here, it is the natural wood stockade fence panel, which is essentially being repaired in the back. And I'll show an image of that. I'm going to jump off real quick and just show you. I'm sure you probably already know what's out there.
It's gonna be cedar as well.
But this image, why can't I see it now? Where is it? Right there. So that's what's there now out on Broadway. Can you see that?
Mm.
Okay, so that's what's being replaced in kind along that strip. And that would be a weathered look. The rest of it would really be more of a finished.
I'm going to make one suggestion, and maybe it goes to that lawn that you're looking at through your big window, is to push that back. If you, you're putting it to the east of the window, right? I mean, to the street side of the window. Is there any reason you didn't put it to the other side? That way you have a view out to that lawn all the way down to Osceola, and because it's such a big lawn that you have visual access to.
The fence is gonna be below the window line.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, it's actually.
Oh, it is, right.
The window will
because
be
the
up
house
here, it'll be
drops
down
out.
below that. So it's going to be sort of
Yeah.
midway right about here.
If we don't
Yeah,
see
you're
it,
right. Right, you're right. Yep.
we don't see the where you're at.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Right there. This. Is that what you're asking? the
Right,
picture?
and it'll go up to where the bushes are, right? Yep.
The window will be up here. The bottom of the window will be up in this area here. So yeah, the fence will be
Mm-hmm.
down below here.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we're also okay with the fence.
So
Yep.
I'm sorry, now I'm
Especially replacing the Broadway fence. Yep.
But it's
I
being
mean, look, I'd
replaced-
like,
it's being replaced in kind, so we have nothing to say about it.
right.
yeah. That's great.
Okay.
We can say nice things about it.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That
Well,
rock
the
wall.
stockade would not be my first choice, but you know, you're just replacing, so it is what it is.
It was actually required by it was the ZBA we had because we were doing work in that buffer, the Broadway
Oh my
buffer.
God.
That's why they do zoning, not ARB.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
You only get them
no
to
one would choose stockade along Broadway.
Can they stay within their fences, so to speak?
Yeah, funny, yes.
Don't even get me started on that.
Rick, my last question was in terms of lighting. So the replacement, there's 2 sconces in the front and 2 in the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
No, there's a couple more.
Okay. Can you show, because I see the 2 at the front door, nothing by the garage? No.
There is a light over the garage currently, right here, that would remain. A ring light, like a, Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So that would remain. And then in the back of the house.
Back of the house is a little, oh, you have 3. I only saw.
Actually, I'm so sorry. No, you know what? That didn't change. It's the rendering
yeah.
is accurate. Sorry, the rendering is accurate. Just the 2.
Okay.
One would be really required by the stairs, and the other one is to balance.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the front porch will also have some lights on the
Uplighting.
On the underside, right? Recessed lights, but nothing visual.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're going to make a motion to approve conditionally with the picture window removed temporarily. Anybody, question?
So moved.
Okay. Second, I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Good luck.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Hey, he opposed himself. Did you see that?
Oh,
He
he-
raised his hand.
I gave a thumbs up.
Good luck with it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Looks
Thanks very
great.
much for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Back to the bench.
Okay. Okay, before we go on to the next new application, we're gonna recall the first application, 21-12. It's a continuation.
Cottonette.
Yes, 13 Cottonette Street. We have Mr. Geis with us.
1 second. There we go. Can you hear me and see me now?
Yep.
Good evening. Okay, at the last meeting for 13 North Continent, I proposed a white vinyl picket fence for the south side and the west side of the property where we restored the wall. You asked me to reconsider the vinyl with either wood or metal. So my revised proposal now is for an aluminum fence, 3.5 feet high, and it would be in a hunter green color in exactly the same location, and would also still have a gate near the rear of the house. I can't screen share with you, but I gave you an extract of the SpecRail catalog, and believe on page 2, we're under the market quality is a picture of the fence that is very similar. And then on page 3 is the fence in a white color rather than a green. And then on the next page is the underneath the distinctive elegance by design is the S1 Bennington, which is the fence that we're proposing.
Okay. I looked at the information online, and I will say that Mr. Geis did everything that we asked him to do as far as changing the style or the type of fence to an aluminum fence. And I don't think anybody, I think it was always going to be green, right, Mr. Geis?
No, it's going to be white. The
Oh, that's
vinyl
right.
was white.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this won't stand out quite as much as the other one.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm actually, I think, happier about that.
Good. Okay. Anybody have any questions, concerns?
Rick, I wasn't here for the first time it was presented, and if there's no screen share, I'm at a bit of a disadvantage, but I'm based on, I think I'm following what the before and after is, but I was expecting there to be a screen share, so just want to be clear on that.
Yeah, Rick, was there a
Classic.
package sent to us with the cuts in them from Sarah, did she send that to us? Because it doesn't seem to be on the website.
The
on
attached,
the,
the email that she sends has a link to all the drawings. She doesn't.
Okay, so I'm just looking at that. I was looking at that. Now I gotta find it again. Okay, I'm in the links and it's under 13.net, right?
Yep.
Why am I not seeing it?
You
No
see
pattern
it?
blindness.
Let's see. 13.
There it is. Sorry, I found it. Yep,
Great.
got it.
Can you share that, Ken?
Sure.
Thank you.
And
We're seeing
Not great.
a still photo of you right now, Ken. So there you are.
yes, there I am. And now I share screen. Start.
Ah,
Okay. And now I gotta find the screen it's on. Nope, there it is. You see it now? Illusions.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the original fence that was proposed.
Ken, there's a,
Okay,
there should be a,
There's a revision link.
yeah, the revision link, right?
sorry. Okay, now I gotta go back. Watching me work here. This is interesting.
I actually didn't see that either. So
Hit the plus sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you guys, the first thing I do when I get on that website is hit the revision link before I look at anything else, just to make sure I got the most up-to-date stuff that I'm looking at.
And what page was it on?
Okay, the page you're coming up to, the white fence there, that's the Bennington, but it's in white rather than Hunter Green.
This one.
This is
Okay.
the spec page for the S1 Bennington.
Yep.
And that's the fence that you're proposing. And you said it was 3.3 high, so it's 42
3.6,
inches.
3.5 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Great. Okay, so does everybody see the fence?
Yes, and then the application the first time actually obviously has all the other details we require.
Yeah.
Right?
And we were okay with the location, as I recall.
Yeah.
As I recall.
There's
Yep.
a stone wall that it's going to sit on top of.
right.
Yep, in the back.
And
Yep.
I think the darker color will be nice.
I agree.
I'm okay with it. Yep. All right.
Great, thank you.
Oh, looks beautiful.
I become useless. All right.
Good,
Do I have a
thank you, I
motion?
appreciate that.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good, thank you very much, appreciate your attention to it.
Thank you. Okay. Now we go to ARB 21-29, Stearns, 5 Stearns Ridge, it's for solar. To be clear, we are to have, if the applicant is here and is going to make a presentation, we will have to convene a public hearing. I will wait to see if we have anybody here. We certainly do.
What was the number?
31-29.
Hi, good evening all.
I did it again, 21-39.
We will not be here in 31, Rick.
No, I certainly won't. Okay.
Hi, good evening all.
Hello.
My name's Justine. I'm with Tesla Energy here for the Gliwick residents at 5 Stearns Ridge. Let me just pull up my screen. So we are proposing a 4 kilowatt system. It's
Okay,
consistent.
could you hold 1 second? I need to open a public hearing. So I will make a motion to open a public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. So this is a 12 kilowatt system. There are, a 4 kilowatt system with 12 panels. They are all on the left side of the house, south facing. Way, slight rendering. Everything's going to be on the side of the house here. It's not visible from the head on from the house, but you will see it on the left side as you come up.
Mhm. I was concerned the only house in the neighborhood that sits above it is the one to the right. I think it's 7, and these don't show to that house. So
No,
that's-
they don't. Yes.
That's the front of the house, and everything is going to be on the south side.
Yeah, on the left side, and they're gonna be right here. It's a pretty high elevation from this side as well.
Okay.
We have very steep pitches on these roofs, so we're trying to make the best out of it by putting everything on the south side. Oops, sorry. That's actually a sample of just what the panels look like. They're black on black. We have black side skirts on the bottom and the side to help blend it in a little better to the roof. They do a decent job of blending them into the roof. The roof's pretty dark as it is as well. So let me come here.
Could you zoom into that? I just want to make sure that the array doesn't encroach the top of the peak. No, we're good. Okay.
It will be a minimum of 18 inches in order to meet the fire code.
That's what I was looking for. Okay.
I think they call it out here as well, if that's a little easier to see.
It's tiny writing, but yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so we'll be 18 inches from the ridge here and then 18 inches as well. And we have another 3 feet over here just for fire access.
Okay. The way you have the array depicted in this drawing, is it the same as what I saw on the affected photographs? It is.
Yeah, so we have 2, 2, then 2 next to each other, and then 3 here. And then there's another 2 over here, and 3 are staggered just along the roof line over here. They didn't have the best photos from the floor, from the ground to depict this, so they used Google, which I know is not the best or the easiest to see here.
Sometimes you need a Dramamine.
Yeah, we started using them actually.
Ken, what were you saying?
I don't think it's an accurate picture, but that's enough said. Why are they on the diagonal? Oh, because that's a diagonal roof.
Yes.
That was my concern. That's why I was having a hard time looking at it. Like I said, I'm probably gonna need a Dramamine.
Do you have a straight you don't have a straight elevation of that? Because what I'm concerned about is that those 3, the 3 that are exactly.
Yeah, there's no way to really straighten them out on that roof due to the ridge line.
Yeah, but they're sorry. My point is not, well, yeah, you could, but you do a smaller one, you do them vertically, you do something else, but those will be seen approaching the house. They're not hidden. That, when you're looking up, right, you have a slope roof.
I think we may actually have these depicted on the wrong side of the house. I believe they're going over here.
Over where?
No, they're on the front. They're on the front, but they're very hard to see. Sorry, this is Jeff, the homeowner. they're very hard.
Well, I'd like you to, there I can see the
right
roof
up
here.
here.
Yeah, you can see it. I'm just saying, that's the same roof. I can see that roof here. And you're going to be right on the front of the house, and it's not like covering the whole. Yep, I can see that roof. Which roof is it going to be on? Just let's be clear.
So we'll be right.
Yeah.
Here.
That's not the roof I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's the one near the it's right in that little bit to the right of that hand. Now, yeah, that just
no. I'm going to just point something out. So here's that ridge line. Ugh, sorry, yellow might have to be it. But so okay, here's that, and there's the. Okay, sorry. So here's the ridge line going back, and here's the roof line going here and then across. Can you go to the plan now?
Sorry. There you go.
Okay, so here.
Is it better zoomed in?
Okay. Can you zoom out a little bit? Just a little bit? I want to be sure I'm not getting it wrong. Roll it down, yeah. So here's that main ridge that I pointed to, and there's the ridge. And that roof, right, I said, here's the line. So there you've got them in this corner. And if you go back,
is it not on the
you're
other
gonna
side
see
of the,
them.
is it not on the other
No.
side of the ridge?
No, it's this ridge here that you're looking at. It's not that one, it's this one, and that's that roof. Okay, again, here's that plane that goes kind of like that, and that's all the slope. And right here is where those are, as far as I can figure out. So that's the concern. I don't think I'm going to worry about the south, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're kind of just thrown in there. I mean, it's the curse of these things. They're a pox on our buildings, though they're very valuable. Like they're the next generation, you'll be able to cut them and slice them and make it look like the whole roof.
Aren't there some that are made that way already?
We have a.
They are, but they're
test
not
roof,
they're
yeah.
not efficient. They're not efficient. So again, here's that roof that kind of, so they would be, I'm really just guessing, but they're kind of like that and that and that.
Yeah, staggered along this line.
Yeah.
We blocked a bit by this peak here, but yes, they will be visible.
But wait, what am aren't I up on this, looking right up at it? They're not blocked. They're dead on in the
You'll
corner.
see it.
Yeah.
But from this is shot from an elevation.
Yeah, we're not, this
From
is
the
not like a
street.
street view. We're elevated right now.
Very hard. It depends, you know, if you're a helicopter, yes, you can see them.
No,
If this
no,
were
I'm
taken
sorry. You can say it all day. So go to your other view that you took. Because
Ken, do
it's
you
the
have-
same slope.
Or do you-
They don't have street view on that block.
No.
No.
It's private. I can't approve that. I mean, not without seeing another view of it. Maybe throwing some tape up there and showing us that you can't see it.
How high is this actually from the ground?
And then what's interesting is you have other exposures like here, right? You could build it up here. We wouldn't say anything. Get two more of them.
The concern is with, if we can move, we can definitely move, I think, 2 down here, but we wouldn't be able to fit that third. So we would just have a straggler.
As
And-
the homeowner, I appreciate that, but we did not want the panels right over my daughter's bed. So
Because what?
would put it over my daughter's bed, and we didn't want to do that for any potential EMF for my school daughter. So we position them to be away from any child's bed. And you know, I know there are other solar panels in the neighborhood that are visible from the street. They're not front and center, but they're. I
And
mean,
by the way,
there
these are
was
going to be visible from here, right? These are going to be visible from here. I have no doubt about it. And in fact,
yeah,
you put one here or whatever, or even here, that'd be fine because it's all about this particular southern exposure. As I
But is it the
understand
policy
south.
of the town that you can never see a solar panel? Because I walk around and I see solar panels all the time.
We're here as the architectural review board to talk about the effect of these on our town and the villages. We've accepted that they are there and that they're purposeful and they're seen. So if you think we would accept it all over the house, that's a difference. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about those 3 panels in that corner, which is like, it's such a specific and well done roof and carefully done. And then there are 3 diagonal ones. And I curse that. Look, if they were done in a strip or they were cut corners and everything, but they're just thrown up there like they've just arrived from Planet X. And on that side of the house, it's not matched on the other pieces. I think you should come back with go up there, throw some orange tape up there and see if we can see it. I think we would accept it if you couldn't see it from the street.
Very limited with what we can do due to fire access. I just want to mention that because we can, you know.
I know, we know, we're well aware. We're well aware.
So with all these lines, it's going to limit us in a lot, which is why that design was chosen. And with not being able to, you know, relocate over here, we're going to be very limited in where we can actually put.
Our charge is to make sure that you've looked at all the possibilities and that you've done everything you can to try to put them in locations that are not visible from the street. However, if you tell us that you've done that, our hands are basically tied as far as being able to disapprove it. And that's just.
I think to Ken's point though, the array is something that we do look at, just to be clear. We're not saying that we obviously we're not going to approve solar panels. We understand what the village charges and we support it, but the array is important. And I think we're all in agreement that we're not entirely clear what you're saying in terms of why the array for those 3 panels only can't be somewhere else to pick up the same energy savings.
Well, we would have to relocate to the rear of the house, and then you're risking, would you rather, like, I'm not sure how you feel about the conduit running, because we would have then conduit running across the entire house. I'm not sure if that would look any better, or if that would be preferred.
You're the
Here,
solar provider. I'm sorry, you're the solar provider.
I do the permitting for Tesla, yes.
Okay, so Tesla is making, could probably do all the work and make it done in such a way that you wouldn't even notice it, running it by the gutter and running it across the ridge in a very creative way instead of a silly direct line, which I've seen them do because it's financially easy for Tesla. That should be on Tesla's burden. I'm frustrated that you're throwing other ugly things at us when in fact, all those things can be designed in such a way as to be organized. But instead we're stuck with Tesla's proportionate lights. So I'm sorry, that's not, that's
I'm
not
just
an
trying
excuse.
to understand what your preferred, I've never been before this board. So typically we try to move as much to the rear of the house as possible. Where you would prefer, and we can discuss with the homeowner and design to make sure we're, trying to get the best production with obviously the best aesthetics. Like if there's a preferred area of the home is just what I'm trying to identify that we can look into.
So the one area that was not acceptable to the homeowner, you're saying, if you could just repeat it, is where the cursor is now because there's a child's bedroom there?
Yes. Mr. Gliwick, is this also, this mounting plane right here, is this also not an acceptable area?
That is also her bedroom, and that's a very thin. And then the back of the house up top on the northern exposure is very shady, so you wouldn't get effective production. I'm sure the engineers would agree. So when the solar engineers looked at it, they wanted to put only on the front facing stuff, and we
on the southern side, shade, yes.
For maximum, the front facing Stearns Ridge was a more solar rich, more productive effacement, but we didn't want it over the family bedrooms. So it's over where it's been proposed here, it's over a garage and a sort of laundry room stairwell.
So is there any other area that hasn't been explored that other than what we just discussed?
I'm not sure this would make it any better, but would you accept this area here? I'm not sure if we could make it work with fire setbacks, but as a possible option to explore, if this is a little less visible here than this panel.
I think that would be more visible from the street for the ARB's consideration. And also the reason it was up top is that gets southern facing, southern facing.
Yeah, more southern facing there.
The ridgeline.
To the homeowner, I have a question. Do you have an attic space above the bedroom? Above that bedroom where the ridge is? Is it an exposed ridge ceiling?
There is.
Or is her bedroom a flat ceiling?
There is an attic for a portion of the top right of that, not where you're talking about on the left over my daughter's bedroom where we had the panels. There is an attic that only runs like sort of half the house, the northern half of the house.
I see. Because EMF has a very, I'm like making myself an expert because I had to deal with it here at my house with a small transformer, and I brought my gun, I borrowed it and everything. And what they told me was the EMF does not have a big field. It is, and I don't know about these, but it has a field that sort of just releases very quickly. I would ask Tesla to show you what the field is, and maybe it might be okay. I would never tell someone to do it, but you might find out that the field is degrades very quickly, is my experience of it. I'm not an expert. I don't even want to own that in any way, but I just think it's like something you might explore. And the simple thing of putting a shield up in the attic might even be if you were more concerned. But again, this is nothing compared to what we deal with
There's
in the
not a,
city.
I understand, sir, Ken, your suggestion that there's not an attic over that southern exposure where the most sun is.
I
to
got it.
your point. And then I actually think if the concern is the front facade of the house, moving it to this other sort of street facing main right over the front doorway where my wife's office sort of window is that is going to be far more visible than the
I agree.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ken, is there a way you could think of that the array isn't so bad? Either if it was one less panel? Is it the array that also is making it?
Yeah.
I mean,
would it be better if we took one panel off?
it's like you remove a panel and solve the problem?
I don't believe we can remove a panel. I believe the minimum they install is 12 in order to get that 4K system size. I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but I believe
Is
that
there another size where you can break them down and maybe put them in a different array? Or do they?
at this point, there's only one size panel.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was probably
You
true.
can go to the moon, but you can't make two different size panels.
Hopefully next year.
I was just going to say, yeah.
They do make the
And you
tiles,
can't-
but you have to replace the whole roof. And
That's correct.
Yeah. We've,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, the solar roof.
And you can't
require
get,
repair.
That's
Oh,
also,
sorry,
I'm just looking at that dormer over the garage, but that's, or the other side where it's not on the walk. Yeah. Again, it's visible. It is visible, but that's the side it wants to be on, isn't
I
it?
definitely understand the board's view. It's just we have a very limited space here, so we're just trying to make it work as best as we can.
So
Look, if you slid,
you
if
couldn't
you
do the
slid,
tiles on a portion of the front because you have so many faces on the roof. There's no way to incorporate that.
I'm not sure, honestly, if we're at the point where we're doing partial roofing, or if that would even the glass tiles there are glass shingle, so it's a very different roof texture from what's existing,
Right.
and they only come in black. So you would have this like dark asphalt gray against the black glass shingle.
can you go back to the drawing again? And it's the overall dimension, and they come in one size, because you could slide the second one sideways.
The second here,
Yeah,
or
so they align.
would you? So do you mean a mixed layout, or just put them?
Well, I'm trying to get you to 3 to get to your number, which is, gosh, so you move.
If we moved one panel over to the bottom, and then maybe the other two could be straightened, would that solve the concern?
Yeah.
Move this here and then straighten these two out?
Yeah, would that
You mean
solve?
move the one here? I don't
Yeah.
know where you were thinking about it, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably could do that. We'd be okay. That's over my daughter's bedroom, but not over her bed, so to speak, where she sleeps. So, and then you could hopefully straighten out the other two. Would that address the board's concern?
I think it would be okay. It would look like a skylight and you'd that's it, instead of a tile.
A
piece.
zigzag.
See, okay.
Bit of a zigzag.
are we talking about lining them up all three together or?
2 there, 2 here, and then 1 maybe over here. Sorry, I'm making a mess of this.
Yeah, I think that could work. That could work.
Clear it one more time. 1 and a line here and eliminate that one.
If we remove, I believe we can relocate this 3-foot fire setback. If we could remove this fire setback, I believe we could stack these 3 and actually have them properly lined up in a square. Would that be preferable?
Sure.
I don't know how you're gonna get around the 3-foot
We,
fire access.
as long as we have the fire setback in the front and in the rear. We'll be able to get that 3 foot here, and then we'll also have this 3 foot as well on this side and in the rear back here.
Okay.
So I believe this, because this 3 foot setback, you're coming up on this corner anyway, so we're gonna need this access path clear as well.
Okay.
He made $430 million in profit this quarter. I think he can fix that. Yeah.
I'll
All
make it share.
But to Ken's point, I think if it's gonna look like a skylight already, it's a home run, so that it really will be much happier with it. It's gonna look much better. So if you can make that happen, that would be great.
So
If we can all just, if we can line these 3 up into a box here.
And I think for approval, Rick, we just have to say, as long as it's conditionally approved on the skylights being aligned and, not on a scattered diagonal like that, we're good.
Okay, I will, does anybody have any other concerns, questions? Because I have to open it up to the public to see if there's any questions from the public. Do you see any hands up?
Nobody's raising their hand and there are no comments in the chat.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay,
Aye.
so then we're looking at a conditional approval, which is a conditional approval to rotate and align the 3 separate arrays, or the 3 separate cells in the, I guess that's what, east?
Facing Stearns Ridge.
I just want to confirm, do you, you said rotate, do you want them rotated, or is it just, do you mean put them in a square? I just want to make sure I'm understanding
If
correctly.
you can do it without rotating them, that'd be fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure, would the conditional approval cover either direction, or do you specifically want, if we could just line these up, move these 2?
I'm going to, the conditional approval is going to say to change the rear array, or the array that has 3 panels to be in a square or rectangle, not jagged.
Okay, understood. I just want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, moving on. 21-30, 15 South Ecker, windows. Mr. Chabon, we see your name. Oh, there you are.
Okay. You all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm Arthur Chabon, representing Connie Honeycutt and Kellen Davidson. We're doing some minor modifications to this house. I'll take you through the proposed elevations first. So on the upper left, you have the north-facing elevation where we are replacing well, first of all the windows are being replaced. In this one area, we're changing one window and enlarging the opening to create 2 windows. So it's going from this to that. On the rear elevation, where we're doing most of the work, we're swapping the door was originally here on the left side and a window on the right. We're going to be swapping that. So you have the window on the left and the pair of doors on the right. There's an existing sort of portico cover on the doors that we're going to be moving from its current location to the new location for these.
Is that a new door?
That's a new pair of doors, yeah.
Okay.
And then on the, can you guys see my arrow when I wave it around?
Yep.
Yes.
So on the south elevation, where that's the tightest elevation between the neighboring property, we're removing a window and just patching in with the existing siding. And then finally on the front, it's strictly window replacements, no architectural modifications. I'll point out in the rear elevation that we're reusing the corbelled. I think I have a better side view of this somewhere. Yeah, we're reusing the corbelled brackets, these sort of scroll brackets to support the new pediment. The windows are going to be these Anderson Series A in a charcoal black, and the roof will be the roof of the little pediment, as well as going to be a standing seam also in a matte black. And that's our project.
Okay. Questions, concerns, Ken?
The double door, Arthur, is it a sliding or a?
No, they're outswing French
They're
doors.
French doors. Okay. No, it looks great.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions, concerns?
That was it. The two small windows up top, they're not replaced. Are those new?
Those are not being replaced.
So Arthur, it's Ken. I see do you think that it was 6/1 when it was built? You're replacing the windows, is that correct?
I suspect it was, yeah.
Oh, because usually
don't
these
know,
houses, like most of the houses on Ferris are similar in scale and size to this one, will have a 2/1, a sort of New York window. That's why I was sort of surprised by this.
Yeah, I honestly, I just don't know, because they're replacement windows that are being replaced.
Yeah.
And they are now what?
They are
6/1.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, here you can see the existing facade.
Yep. Okay.
Is there a clear story over the existing door? Or is
No.
that just I can't say no?
You mean here? No, there isn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I would have said 2/1, but I think as you said, it's just straight replacement.
Anybody else? Okay, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
All right, well, thank you all very much.
thank you very much.
Good luck.
All right. Okay, ARB 21-31, 129 Rue du Bois, deck. Oh, Mr. Witt is back.
Good evening again. Yes, I am. I'm here for my client, Steve Ballot and Minnie Borisoff at 124 Rue du Bois. And we are going to be renovating the existing deck, making some minor tweaks to.
I have one question before you continue.
Certainly.
Has it been approved by the Field Point?
Correct, they have been.
Okay. Please continue.
So we are going to relocate the stair on the deck. I'll share my screen with you as I explain. Here you can see where the existing stairs used to come down. It made the deck very tight and difficult to use. Here, we're relocating it off to the side. While we're doing this, my homeowners would like to rip off the old pressure treated decking and rail and replace it with a TimberTech composite decking with a cable rail system. Here you can see the back of the house where the stairs used to come down here. Let me see if I have the existing. Here you can see the existing stair, existing deck, proposed stair, proposed deck. So it's a slight increase in the size of the deck simply because we're filling in where the existing stair was. And in addition to renovating, slightly expanding the deck, we're installing a new window downstairs and a new door in the lower level walkout.
Is that a whole set of doors or a set of?
Yes, it's a four panel door.
Okay. Okay, who'd have thunk that that railing with the wire would have been a thing today? But it is.
Yeah, here's the existing house and deck you could see.
Okay. Makes sense to move that stairway.
Big improvement on their use of the deck.
Yep. Okay. I
And
didn't,
the finish,
Excuse me?
painted white. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, yeah, the railing is, well, stainless steel cable rail with a
Yep.
white aluminum post. And then the decking is going to be a maritime gray. Would you like to see an image of that?
what about the rail top?
That's also in the white.
Okay.
Let me see if I have it here. I think there's an example of the deck and rail together.
Okay.
Nice view.
Yeah, unfortunately not their property. Okay. As far as the materials, it's like I said, it's the Trex, it's the cable rail. We'll be matching the existing trim around the window we're putting in the lower level, but we're not altering anything upstairs.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else, questions, concerns? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And last but not least, 21-32, 24 Barney Park.
Okay, that's still me, so I'll stick around.
You.
Let me just locate the drawings for that project, if you bear with me 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, that didn't want to load. Let's try something else. Am I frozen?
Nope.
No, see you.
No.
Sometimes you have to go out to go back in.
Yeah, it doesn't, again, I apologize. Let me shut this down and try one more time.
Because it's 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Working hour. Boy, this night flew.
Kept it moving, Rick. One more.
I know.
Yeah, you got through it pretty quickly.
I cannot explain why this is not coming up on your screen.
And you think you can work that magic again?
Give me a couple minutes.
All right.
There we go. I got one of them up. There we go. Are you able to see what I'm sharing with you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Excellent. We made it. So my clients would like to renovate and do some subtle expansion to this house at 24 Bonnie Park. What we're hoping to do is push out the front of the house a little bit as we renovate the kitchen and create a breakfast nook. It's a fairly tight kitchen right now, and I'll show you the existing plans later if you're interested. But there's a small bump out breakfast bay in the front, and then there's an expansion of the existing den/family room in the back of the house. So there's a 2-story addition in the rear, a small 1-story addition bay in the front, and then we're also going to be expanding the mudroom slightly on the right-hand side. Here you can see the existing front. This is the new breakfast bay that we're creating. The mudroom, and let me see if I can bring up one more. We then have the rear addition in the back. So what I'm doing is we're basically mimicking the Dutch colonial style roof on the house in the back. The house currently has a slate roof shingle, which will be matching on the majority of the additions will be slate roof. The only exception is the bay in the front. We'd like to do a metal roof, not copper. It'll be an anodized metal, a pewter color, which we feel is going to blend nicely with the color of the existing shingles. Let me see if I have some photos to bring up. Might be helpful for you. So here you can see the existing front facade. The bay window will go here between these three windows, kind of odd windows on this elevation here. So that's where our bay window goes. And the rear addition is in the back of the house. Basically between these two or three windows in the back is the two-story addition that we're proposing right over here. A lot of the windows in the house have already been replaced with an Anderson Woodwright double hung. They will either be 8/8 or 6/6, depending on the width of the windows, which is consistent with what was done on the existing house. We have a new entry door on the side, which is the mudroom door. And we also have a new door over here, which is doors leading out of the family room. And those will be a French door. Leading out onto a new patio. Currently, there's no outdoor dining area, so we're doing a new patio off to this side. The house.
Do you have a roof plan? Do you have a roof plan?
I do not have a roof plan, no. Is there one of the images I could show you to help clarify?
It was mostly about the back, but I think I'm getting it now, that it's a whole dormer. You know, you're doing the narrow gambrel roof with two sheds, right? So it's basically almost flush with the two shapes there.
Correct. It's similar to the way that the existing side elevation was designed and built.
Yep.
Kind of just.
Yeah, it's just it's just a little bit deeper on the original house.
Correct.
Which has obviously had it. And the pyramidal roof, how does that resolve itself against the slopings?
Yeah, it comes to a slight peak where a bay would typically just be coming off the house on an angle. This actually projects off the side of the house about 2 feet. We needed to get a little bit more extra space in that kitchen to create a room for the breakfast nook. So we're building it out.
Yep. Can you zoom in on this? It's hard because of the horizontal looks the same as the. Okay, so.
Right, so we have a plate line that is lining up with the mudroom, which is 9 foot. The second floor has a plate line, which is actually closer to 10 feet. This will
sorry, I'm just going to ask. Please. So how does this line, doesn't this line sort of start to go back?
Which line?
Okay, so you have the pyramidal roof, right?
Correct.
In plan. Actually, can you go to the second floor? That would be good. Let's just look at that.
Here you can see it on the side, Ken. I think maybe that will clear it up.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of to me, I would think you'd want to bring it to, I guess that doesn't help you because now your roof will go up and it's just like, it looks like a clash here.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the main.
Yeah, the challenge is that I have a couple of existing different plate heights. And I also have some windows that I'm trying to stay under upstairs in the bedroom.
Yeah, that was what I noticed as well.
Yeah.
I would have, let me just say this as a suggestion, one way or the other is either you make it a flat roof or a, flattish roof, whatever, as an object that's attached to the house, because it's the only copper roof on the whole house. It's like sort of jumping out. But if it was like a piece, as all these other pieces are, maybe it wouldn't be so, I'm going to leave it to you as the architect to sort of resolve. I think if this is what you'd like, it just looks like it's all the lines are coming together and you could sort of pick up that line there, right? The line that instead of tying it to the lower line, which is also a sort of unique thing, and actually tie it to the higher line, to this line, which seems to be elsewhere. It's not an easy thing to resolve, and you and I could sit over drawings for a long time.
We did, I will say, we did study it a few different ways. We looked at taking the plate line up to line up with this one. The problem was this became so shallow of a metal pan roof, it almost felt like an appendage on the front of the house. Whereas I felt a roof that had some more height to it gave it a little bit more gravitas, a little bit more consistent with what you'd expect with that type of feature.
Okay. I don't have an easy answer for it.
And just to be clear, it won't be a copper roof. It'll be a painted metal roof.
Yeah.
which will be closely matched to the half-round gutters that are on the house and all the metal flashing that currently exists. So we're hoping that all the tones will bring everything together.
Is the ceiling flat in that nook?
Ironic, it
Is
is.
it long?
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
The way that they framed the original house, I believe they set the rafters on top of the floor joist, so it has an uneven
Sure.
plate height.
Yep.
Okay.
The 1x8 beveled siding will be matched, exterior details matched, and the house will be painted white, or the addition painted white to match the existing house.
And that's all, the panels are what paint, all the rest of the bay windows painted white.
Correct.
right? That's the, yeah,
Yes, this will
all
all
the
be
panels.
detailed white.
Mhm. Can you blow that one up?
Yeah, the idea is it'll have a similar effect without the color roof, obviously. But as far as that way that panel is going to be, and it'll blend in with the house because the house is white as it is.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Ken?
Nope.
Anybody else? Deb?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too.
We've got nothing else, guys, and it's late, so I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.